Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career multidisciplinary artist Chris Ramsay, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at the mood and aesthetic of the rainy nights. We're also going to explore the immense importance of being very descriptive when creating AI generative art. So let's just jump right into it. So at first sight, we see what appears to be a lone man staring outside of a train window. You'll notice it is no doubt a calm introduction to this very tranquil composition. You may notice, of course, the placement of this subject within center right. We see this oculus or this window framing and containing our subject within. Not only does this, of course, draw our eye within the work at hand, but it really focuses that as well. So it's incredibly important here. You may also notice, colors within this work really has this grayish blue, if you will, but upon that is that orangish red. That red or that orange no doubt contrasts against that blue and really gives a little bit of flair to the composition, a little bit of visual energy as well. So that's incredibly important. This is what we call pretty close to a split complementary scheme, although not quite. It is a tetratic color scheme, but regardless, it is going to be contrasting itself against that main base of blue. Another thing we see here is the impact of texture, right? We see this quite clearly, especially against the window. You have the, kind of drizzling, rainy effect. It is no doubt crystalline in a way, but it also is very fluid and even rigid as well. There is a blur to the composition at hand that is all very important when we're looking at this work. It does an amazing job of immersing us within that as if we're looking out on this subject who is looking back at us. And I want to ask you, how do y'all feel when you first view this composition? Of course, the aesthetic here is second to none, right? It is the rainy nights. It is very tranquil. It is very calm, maybe even a little solemn as well. Rain is a very difficult symbol to understand. For one, it is calming, but at the same time, it is also quite chaotic. So there is this kind of dual nature to rain, if you will, that can draw a lot of memories from a lot of different people, right? If you're staring outside of a window, some people talk about, pretending like they're in a music video in some way or another. Rain certainly calms the mind, but it is a kind of calm chaos, if you will. It is pretty strange to understand, but I absolutely love it personally. And within this work, we see this lone subject staring out towards us. Of course, his face is blurred, so there is this anonymity to the scene at hand. We see a very vague form. It's hard to say, who or what this subject is, but regardless, this is a very calm and tranquil composition. I think there's no doubt about that. But our subject here, like I said, is very vague and almost feels like a dream in a way. Dreams can also be quite vague as well. Dreams can integrate that kind of blurry atmosphere as things are quite hazy. They overlap one onto another. But there is no doubt the mood here is second to none. It is one of my favorite works I've ever studied. It is very calm, like I said. I actually found this work quite a bit ago, but I've been saving it until the right moment, so I was finally able to study this work. It was an absolute pleasure. I wanted to ask you, what comes to mind when you view this composition, and what do y'all think of when you first view this work? Of course, incredibly important questions. We're trying to understand this piece a bit more. And the original artist, he is a performer, he is a magician, he works with AI generative art as well as photography as well, and so I actually have the original description that was used here as well as one of his works of photography, and you'll see quite easily that these are important to understand them nonetheless. So let's bring this in real quick. So we have the prompt that was used to create this work. This is an AI generative work, and it was created using OpenAI's DALL-E II. DALL-E II is incredibly powerful. It was first released in spring of 2022, so spring of last year, and since then it has certainly taken the world by storm, and so has AI generative art as a whole, right? But the original artist is not just an AI artist. He is a magician as well as a photographer. So we have a picture from, I believe, Paris in France. I believe that's the Eiffel Tower. You can see the stunning use of composition within this work, the stunning use of color as well. And you can see that goes directly into the prompt used to create this. So the prompt is, quote, 50mm shot of a shadowy figure, Moody, inside of a round rainy train window looking out onto a city with neon lights. We certainly see that within the composition. And you'll notice, his use of photography works hand in hand with the creation of this prompt here. He has very descriptive language, exactly what we see here. And there were actually different variations of this as well. I'm going to bring that in real quick and see what we can learn. Alright, so like we just went over, the original prompt is quite descriptive, there is no doubt about that, but that was used to create multiple different variations of the same work. So, of course, we have the original work before us here, but we have multiple different iterations of that as well using the same exact prompt description. Of course, in all three instances, you have that train window, you have the oculus where we're looking through at this kind of a hazy or shadowy figure that we certainly see that it is Moody. It is a shadowy figure, no doubt about that in the description, and of course, it does an amazing job of showing that moody, rainy night, the stunning aesthetic of that. In all three instances, there is this blue, there is the orange, and that is so important within the work at hand. And so I just want to bring these two in real quick to show that you can use the same exact prompt to show different variations and then curate further from that. We absolutely love to see it here. So yeah, those were the different variations of this work using the same exact prompt, and I just find that so important, being very descriptive when you're creating the AI artwork. It's incredibly important to get exactly what you want, and when people think about AI art, it's very easy to dismiss it. It's very easy to say, oh, that takes no skill, but you must look at it differently. If to create generative art is reliant on your use of coding, then to create AI generative art is reliant on your use of text-based prompts. So you need different references, you need knowledge, you need the ability to express yourself through the written word. That is incredibly important when you're trying to create a work of AI art that is very specific and curated exactly to what you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to be quite vague. You're going to be all over the place and not really getting what exactly you want. So to really express yourself and to communicate that, that's just so important when creating an AI generative work of art. But yeah, I just want to bring that in, as well as one of his works of photography, to kind of explain how that world of photography fits directly into the use of a description, which fits directly into the work we see here. We absolutely love to see it. So yeah, that's really all I have for today. I really hope y'all enjoyed. We talked about so many different things, from the sense of texture, the use of color here, that orange contrasting against the blue base. We talked about the kind of vague and anonymous nature of our subject. We talked about the very calm chaos, the aesthetic, and the mood that is provided by rain. It's very intriguing, and like I said, he's sitting in a train window looking out upon us. Once again, this is an AI generative work of art using OpenAI's DALL-E II, very powerful program, very photorealistic as well. So if you want to get into the world of AI art, DALL-E II is a very good program to start. A lot of people start mid-journey, but to each their own, right? Start wherever you'd like, whether that's, DALL-E II, whether that's mid-journey, wherever you'd like to start. Something like Stable Diffusion may be quite difficult for beginners, but nonetheless, each one provides its own unique benefits and potential power and accessibility. So yeah, like I said, that's all I have for today. I really hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist, Chris Ramsay, doing some amazing stuff in multiple different mediums, from performance art to photography to AI generative art. So many different places to really discover this artist and appreciate their work. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I really hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, if y'all enjoyed, go check out the original artist, Chris Ramsay. My name's Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.